Top 10 Zombie Animes. Zombie animes are quite hectic, but that's what makes them so entertaining. The zombie epidemic and undead joke cliche can never be too much. Well, we'll be talking about zombie animes today, the top 10 zombie animes. I have quite a wide range of premises. You'll definitely find at least a couple of them that you haven't watched yet. Well then, shall we begin? Number 10, Gyo Tokyo Fish Attack. This anime is a movie adaptation of a manga created by Ito Junji. For those of you who don't know him, this man has made quite a name for himself as a horror-style storyteller. It is an hour-long movie that revolves around a girl named Kaori. She is quite excited about her trip to Okinawa, anticipating the seaside and all that beauty, but little does she know about the fact that this trip will be anything but the excursion she was looking for. Something happens. The sea creatures grow legs and start wrecking the land like mindless zombies. The impeding terror along with the rotting stench of death further enhances the gravity of the situation. How will Kaori and the rest deal with this? Number 9, Seoul Station. You may be familiar with the film Train to Busan. It's quite a popular action horror film set in South Korea. Well, this particular movie serves as the prequel to the prestigious Train to Busan film. It was directed by a Korean director, and in terms of plot, it portrays how the zombie epidemic emerges in downtown Seoul. Now, if you want some bizarre zombie content and also like the Train to Busan film, you might enjoy this one. Though keep in mind, the CGI is on steroids in this one. Number 8, The Outcast. After South Korea, we have a Chinese anime. Though it is also available in Japanese dub, the plot follows the protagonist named Zhang Chulan. He just happened to be in the graveyard paying a visit to his grandma's grave when a bunch of zombies just pop out of thin air and suddenly start attacking him. Zhang Chulan was not amused. Fortunately, before the zombies can increase their ranks, a mysterious girl appeared at the scene, and using kitchen knives, she stops the zombies. Later, Chulan sees her at his university and before long comes to the realization that this dilemma hasn't ended yet. Over the years, there have been plenty of installments of this anime. Heck, the recent fight sequences have been on par with what Japanese top-tier animations have to offer. Number 7, High School of the Dead. High School of the Dead is the anime that flexes its animation through smooth oppai movement. The fan service is commendable, and while there is a plot, it takes a backseat and lets the fan service and the action lead the way. It all happens one day when a zombie epidemic breaks out of nowhere. Not many survive. Among the few survivors of a considerable high school, there is a young boy, his friend, his best friend's girlfriend, a couple more girls, and then some. They spent most of their time trying to defend themselves from the zombies and securing new hideouts. Plus, there's a sequel OVA to this series, which takes the fan service even further beyond. Number 6, KABANERI of the Iron Fortress. This anime is something of an Attack on Titan itself. No, seriously, if you're just taking just the base premise into consideration, nothing much separates it from the critically acclaimed Attack on Titan, though I'd be lying if I said that they are the same thing. Anyways, in this anime there are zombie-like creatures called kabane, who have forced civilization to partially live in isolation. Then there's an engineer named Ikoma. These kabane gets on his nerves like nothing else. If he could, he'd throw them all into a blender and then press the button. But he can't. In fact, sooner rather than later, before the boy could use his weapon to exterminate them, something happens that triggers him to take a half-human, half-kabane autonomy. I'd say if you're looking for light fantasy comedy, this anime definitely checks the boxes. Alright guys, a quick quiz for you! You are about to be reincarnated as a side character in a zombie apocalypse. Which anime would you choose? Share your answers, it's an emergency drill. Also, like and subscribe, it's always appreciated. Well then, let's get back to the list. Number 5. Sunday Without God. The inhabitants of the world of this story are in a severe dilemma. God has just straight up abandoned the world. Now, life can neither end nor be created. The dead have no choice but to constantly keep walking amongst the living. However, before leaving the world to its misery, God did create mystical beings called gravekeepers who use a certain power of burial to help the dead finally rest in their graves. And a young girl named Ai is one of them. She has taken up this responsibility in the stead of her late mother, but one day a mysterious man appears and kills everyone in her village. Since Ai had nothing else to do, she decides to accompany the man on his travels. Little does she know, this fellow is her father. Number 4. Is this a zombie? Here we have a young boy named Ayumu Aikawa. His curiosity gets the better of him and he ends up deciding to explore a somewhat suspicious looking place. But before he could quench his curiosity, the boy tragically gets murdered by somebody. He obviously dies, though this isn't the end. A moment later, he opens his eyes yet again, only to find a strange girl right next to him. She introduces herself as a necromancer and tells him that it is she who revived him as a zombie using her abilities. Just like that, Ayumu's pursuit of uncovering his murderer as well as living life as a zombie begins. Number 3. School Live. On the surface, this anime might just seem like another slice of life about cute high school girls doing cute things, but that's not all there is to it. The story follows Yuki Takeya and the other members of the school living club. It includes the club president, the club advisor, a couple of other girls, and their dog. All of them live at school. Yes, there's just one rule of their club: to not leave the school premise. As for why that is the case, you'll have to find out yourself. Just know, this anime is not what it seems to be on the surface.
Miss Yuki! Oh, Mi-kun! What's the matter?
Number 2. Zombieland Saga. Zombieland Saga follows Sakura Minamoto and a few other girls as they struggle to make a name as an idol brand. Sakura has always dreamt of becoming an idol, but unfortunately before she could follow through with her dream, she was hit by a truck and simply died. 10 years ago, she yet again opened her eyes but has no recollection of her past whatsoever. A man named Kyotaro Tatsumi explains to her that she has been resurrected along with 6 other girls, all from different eras, and their job is to help the economy of the Saga prefecture by becoming an idol group. Just like that, their lives as pop idols begin. How will they rediscover their past identities, and how will they hide their zombie identities? I'd say if you go into this thinking that it's just a music anime, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Number 1. Gungrave. The story follows two manly men named Brandon and Harry. They are both best friends who share a bond equal to that of brothers. Usually they live quite simple lives, end up in street brawls, seduce women, and do a little crime every now and then to make ends meet. But when an infamous mafia group shows up, it changes things. They're made to join their ranks. While Harry wants to become the next mafia boss, his friend Brandon wants the mafia to just disappear considering how a girl he liked was taken by them. Their ideals clash, stuff happens, and Harry orchestrates his best friend's Brandon's murder. Though the guy is brought back to life as a zombie, only this time he is invincible, ready to get back at the person he trusted the most. That's all folks. Now guys, what did you think of these animes? Have you watched them or are you planning on watching them? Share your thoughts in the comments down below. Press that like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe and leave a comment saying I subscribed and I'll personally reply to your comment. Well then, I'll see you guys on my next video.